Welcome to Moving Through and Beyond, a podcast dedicated to sharing inspired journeys of redefining life, vision, and purpose after immense hardship and grief. My goal with this podcast is to give you hope and to let my guest journeys inspire you to make the choice to keep looking up. I'm your host, Carey Conley. I am very, very excited to announce that between these vision checks and my podcast interviews, we have hit over 100 episodes, and I could not be more grateful. First, I want to tell you, for those of you who have been watching these vision checks and watching the podcast, thank you for that. I appreciate it more than you know. I also want to share with you how grateful I am for all the podcast people that I have had on. I have learned so much from them being interviewed, and I've also learned a lot about myself, and I thought I would share some of that with you right now. So I think the biggest thing, number one, that I'm going to tell you that everybody knows, and I'm hoping that as you are listening to me and you're watching the podcast that you're learning as well, is that no matter what success people have had in life, and all of these people that I bring on have made huge strides and hit big goals and major achievements. But when I bring them here to interview them, I get them to transparently share some major adversity that they've been through. And the reason I ask them to do that, and they gladly do it, is because you need to know that we live in a world right now, especially with social media, that makes it look like everybody's got it all going on, and we go through this comparison rabbit hole, is that everybody has a story. Everybody has something they've been through. And even if they've been through it and they are successful now, it doesn't mean that they still struggle or that they don't struggle. And a lot of them will tell you they still have very hard days, dark days, but they've learned how to get through it. And I think that's the next thing I want to share with you is I feel like I've learned so many lessons from listening to them talking about how they moved through their own personal loss of family members, friends, how some of them have been through detrimental financial downfalls. Some of them have been through major shifts in relationships. Unfortunately, some of them, like me, have gone through suicide loss of family members and friends. And I just am so inspired by them, because what I see them overall talking about is not only how they physically moved on, it really was a battle in the mind. They had to learn how to make mind shifts in how they felt about the circumstances they've been through. And overall, all of these people, I think, have become mentors to me, because I've learned every time I've interviewed them how it really is a shifting of the mind and changing the perspective of what they've been through. I appreciate the resources that they have shared with me. And if you follow along with the podcast, you'll see some of those resources as well. And the last thing I want to say, and I think this is the most important thing, is that you have to put yourself in a community like they have and like I have, and I'm going to continue building here with the podcast, is a community of people who are locking arms with each other and not letting anybody go. I'm a big believer of locking arms with people and saying, you know what, I'm going to hold on to you and you hold on to me, and just let's be there for each other, be strong for each other, and also remind each other how important we are and how important our vision is of our own life. The reason I love these people and have mentors in my life is because on the days where I doubt my vision, and I do, they remind me of who I am and what my vision is. And so I want to remind you all right now, if you are in a place where you're not anchored in something that will help you move through and beyond, get anchored in it. Know your purpose, know why you matter, and share it with somebody that you trust. The biggest thing that you can do for me, if I might ask, in helping me spread this mission of hope and purpose, especially with young adults, is to share this podcast out and subscribe. I appreciate it more than you know, and I hope to keep building it for all of you. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, please share it with a friend or a family member. In order to be successful on this mission, I can't do it alone. Connect with me at www.careyconley.com, and don't forget to sign up for my weekly Do It On Purpose newsletter. Let's build this life-giving vision movement together to end this epidemic, save lives, and create purpose.